Jair Brown, Penn State, talented safety, 5'11", 202. This is a guy that will strike you. He will hit you in the mouth. He will get you down by any means necessary. Outside of that, I love his ability to be a big-time blitzer in the blitz game, especially as an edge blitzer. He understands his strengths in regards to going against bigger blockers. He utilizes his quickness to be able to set up different moves, to be able to put pressure on these opposing quarterbacks. And I love how he plays with energy. He's always playing fast. The last 2 years, 10 interceptions, so he's a big-time playmaker as well, turnover machine. Reminds me a lot of Mr. ANTOINE WINFIELD Jr., talented safety for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a Super Bowl champion as well. You look at the physical nature in which Mr. WINFIELD Jr. plays with, you see the same thing coming from Mr. Jair Brown.
You know, tight ends have become the it thing at the NFL level, and when you look at Alabama's offense, it kind of became the it thing with the Crimson Tide, too. Cam Latu, one of the favorite targets of Bryce Young over the last couple of years with the Crimson Tide. He got open. He can find those seams. He is a threat in the passing game. Pass protection, maybe not. At a tight end, though, maybe you don't necessarily need that in this day and age. If you're looking at what he can be, Pat Fryermuth, kind of the same thing, was used more as a receiver than a blocker at Penn State. Kind of the same thing at the NFL level. You play around, you coach around the weaknesses to make those strengths come to the surface. And Cam Latu has a ton of strengths for NFL coaches to work with.
Darrell Luter Jr. out of South Alabama, under the Sun Belt Conference. Prospect at 5'11", 191 pounds. Reminds me a lot of Chidobe Awuzie and what he brings to the table out there on the perimeter. What I love about his game the most is that he has those tremendous springs and agility at the position. Someone that can really sky up above the rim, win at the highest point, and bat the ball away. He can play on either side of the defense, boundary side or field side. Some may even see him kick down inside as a slot corner. Now, he has to be better in working through contact. Physical wide receivers tend to give him a little bit of an issue. So as he moves forward, he's going to have to continue to get stronger to be able to fight through that contact, especially at the highest point.
Georgia edge rusher Robert Beal Jr. has good size, good speed for the position. He's capable of flipping his hips and transitioning in coverage. Beal often gets caught in the wash and can do a better job of getting off blocks in the run game. At the NFL Combine, Beal tested off the charts, much like most of the other Georgia Bulldogs in attendance, running the 40-yard dash in 4.48 seconds with a 1.62 second 10-yard split. But that did not pop out on his film. He needs to be more consistent at the next level using those explosive qualities. Beal has good grip strength and long arms, but needs to do a better job of finishing plays. According to True Media, he had a 17.1% missed tackle rate in 2022. Beal has starting caliber athletic qualities, but is still developing as a player. We have compared him to former NFL linebacker SEDRICK HODGE.
D. Winters, linebacker out of TCU, and his comp, Monty Rice. Winters, who measures 5'11", 223 pounds at the Combine, blazed a 4.49 40, and he checks all the boxes on the physical gifts, but he doesn't consistently play with that urgency on tape. Early in the 2022 season, he struggled at times to get off blocks and was hit or miss as an open field tackler. The lack of size is a concern because it's clear he'll need to get stronger and have fewer stretches where he's not making an impact. That said, Winters showed up big in TCU's biggest moments over the final few weeks of the season, and he finished 2022 with 14.5 tackles for loss and 7.5 sacks, both career best. Still, his NFL future will be as a weak side linebacker because of the lack of size, and he'll likely begin his career earning a living on special teams. Brayden Willis, tight end out of Oklahoma, reminds me a lot of Kyle Juszczyk. At just a shade under 6'4" and 239 pounds, Willis isn't your prototypical NFL tight end. That said, he might be the best blocking tight end / fullback / jack of all trades in this class, and it might not be close. He consistently locks up second-level defenders versus the run and shows the ability to anchor defensive ends in pass protection. He's not particularly athletic as a route runner, but is a consistent dump-off option for a quarterback looking for a security blanket. But let's be real, you're not drafting him for his route running or his middle-of-the-field suddenness. You're drafting him because he'll block anyone you put in front of him into the third row. More importantly, Willis is one of the highest character players in the whole class, and he'll be a locker room glue guy from day one to the next level.
Michigan wide receiver Ronnie Bell was an impact performer for the Wolverines in 2022. 2022 after essentially missing the entire 2021 season with a torn ACL. Bell has average to below average top end speed and burst, but has been a consistent performer throughout his career. His strength involves settling into the soft spot of zone coverage. Bell has strong hands and good body control to hang on in contested situations. Last season, he dropped just 5.2% of passes. The Missouri native also has some exposure to the run game, where he has primarily returned punts. I could envision him being a valuable player in chain-moving situations, much like a Jarvis Landry. We have compared him to Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown.
All right, staying on the defensive side of the ball, let's talk about Avery Young, the safety out of Rutgers, going to come into the league right at 6 foot in that 205 to 210 range. Listed as a safety, you'd like to see somebody with a little more length, a little taller to play that safety position, but he is versatile enough. I think he could come in a backup role, second, third team backup role, make a contribution on special teams. In terms of being a safety, what you'll notice, he gets to the football, he fills well, he tackles hard. This is a guy with a big motor. He plays hard. He's very fluid in terms of his coverage skills and his ability to get the ball carriers on the ground, also in coverage. It kind of reminds me of Casey Hayward out of Vandy in the 2012 NFL draft.
Jadakiss Bonds out of Hampton at 6'2", 205 pounds, reminds me a lot of Josh Reynolds and what he brings to the table. He's an excellent vertical threat. This is someone that can get a step on the defensive back, accelerate, stack him, and get down the field and make the play. He also plays bigger than his size. He plays like he's a 6'5", 6'6" wide receiver inside the red zone, being able to go up top and snatch the ball off the top of the dome of the cornerback. Now, where he has to get better, he has to smooth out the route running on the shorter stuff. The shorter intermediate routes, your slants, your in-breaking routes, those are areas where he has to improve his game. Otherwise, he will find himself being in a one-dimensional role, and we know guys don't want that moving forward.